I got your love. You need to look no further.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another installment of the BRI, which is the Black Research Institute, where we're here and we're committed to solving the problems. My name is Denorris Wilson, and tonight's guest is a young lady that I've had the fortunate opportunity with to collaborate on a couple of projects with her using my design skills and her public relations skills, and we collaborated on a couple of major events. I met her by happenstance, and we just kept in touch, and we continued to build a rapport with one another. And we look out for one another. We have job opportunities. We look out for one another, and she's a real good friend. She's another one of my dope friends. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to Miss Ali Apuyo. I hope I said it right.
Opio, how are you?
I always get it messed up. I just know Ali. Yeah.
It's okay. It's cool. How are you?
How you been? I'm doing good. How you been?
Fantastic. I can't complain.
That's good. That's good. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for agreeing to do the interview with me. And because I know, you're a busy person and it takes, time to do these interviews, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay. So let's get right into it. Tell us about Ali.
Oh gosh. What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Whatever you want us to know.
Wow. Ali, She's an entrepreneur. I am the founder and creator of Dynamic Public Relations, a public relations firm based in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. I've been a publicist since 2007. Before that, I was a general assignment reporter for the Washington Afro in Washington, D.C. After I graduated from Howard University in 2005. So I have a strong background in communications, media, journalism, etc. Ali is somebody who is very passionate and determined, and when retained, she goes hard for her clients, as you know, Denorris, and I don't rest until results are yielded. So that is in a nutshell.
Okay, so what made you go into public relations? Like, what was the spark that made you go into public relations?
Excellent question. So as a writer for the Afro, after graduating from Howard, publicists would solicit me to cover their clients, but their pitches, their press releases, their emails to me, there was a disconnect. They didn't know how to communicate to me why their clients were worth covering, why their clients were worth interviewing. There was that journalistic disconnect. And so with my foundation in journalism, with my experience, with my writing skills, it was easy for me to make that transition from being a reporter because the paycheck was a joke. I love the Afro, but that paycheck was real slim. And make the transition into being a publicist. And so I already had press and media contacts already developed, having been a writer. So it wasn't hard for me to, utilize those same contacts to cover my clients. And so that's when I made the transition into becoming a publicist.
Now, how long has public relations been in business?
Since 2007.
2010?
Seven. Yes.
So you started that like right after we met.
Yes. 2007. That is correct.
Wow.
Yes.
13 years?
13 years and counting. And, lots of ups and downs, twists and turns, but we are still here. We are still in business, and we're going strong.
You know what? When I moved back to DC, I used to, I watched that morning show, DC in the Morning, the news show. And I was back in DC maybe 2 years. And, I used to watch the show. Then I started seeing like bands on the morning show and promoters on the morning show. And I'm like, who is getting these people on this morning show?
I have to say that I got to take credit for some of that. I do have to take credit for that. I think you're referring to Nick DeViz, Dominic Manuel, who has been a longtime friend and client. He retained me to do PR when he was doing Bugs from Junkyard's 50th birthday at the Howard. And I got him everywhere. And that was one of the first times where a promoter was included in the segments.
Right.
Because I was able to create an angle that made sense, and it worked.
Well, also it piggybacked off of his foundation, his charity too, right? Like
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then I started seeing that, and then I got a call from you, and you was like, Denorris, I got this client, and it's the 100 Black men of PG County.
Yes.
And you was like, they need visuals bad.
Yes.
Like they need visuals bad.
And you ended up doing all the graphics for that campaign.
Yes.
It was the 100 Black men of Prince George's County, their annual brunch. Shamari White was the chair of that brunch, and he retained me to do PR for the event. And he said, do you know a great graphic designer? And I said, sure, I know Denorris Wilson. And you did the graphic, you did the flyers, you did everything graphically utilized for that event. It was you, down to the book, the souvenir book.
Yep, the souvenir book. Yep.
You designed that as well, and it was fantastic.
Yep.
And they were very pleased with the work. So I know it was a lot of work, but you handled it well.
But I mean, they were so pleased that after that, remember, we kept working with Shamari because you picked up Eli. And
yes, his son as a client. Yes.
You picked up Eli, and then we continued on from there. You know what I mean? It was a great experience, man. I mean, because like when you're doing something of that magnitude, it gives you a feeling of gratification that people entrust you enough to handle that particular aspect of it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I thank you. You've given me a lot of great jobs, like a lot of great leads.
Thank you.
You've given me a lot of great leads that, that turned out to be something that will be very profitable. So how is Dynamic Public Relations doing throughout this whole pandemic?
Well, we're doing fine. We are doing fine. Actually, before this, I had to return a call from someone who reached out to me, wanted to utilize my services. So people continue to inquire about my services all the time. When the pandemic first hit, it was a shock to the business. But things have been stable.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it sort of hit me like a Mac train at first. But then when everybody started realizing that they had to transition to a more digital aspect and a more digital presence, it started to pick back up. So
definitely, yes.
So you're the first. No, you're the only black publicists that I know. I don't know too many black. You and I in our prospective professions, we're like unicorns, because we it's I haven't ran into many black graphic designers. Like, I haven't ran into a lot of them, and I'm sure that you haven't ran into a lot of black publicists. So tell me, how is it difficult for you to move around in that profession as a black female and be like called upon frequent?
Well, no, actually not. I know quite a few black publicists in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. And so, no, navigating within this space has really been seamless. It's all a matter of how you conduct business and your consistency. I'm very consistent in my delivery in what I do for my clients. And so that reputation has been able to carry me. And so I always advise people to be consistent in executing services on behalf of your clients.
So what you got coming up in the future? Like, what's on the calendar for Dynamic Public Relations?
I have a lot on the calendar. I have a lot going on things that I can't disclose as of yet. People just have to stay tuned and find out. But I have a lot in the works as we speak.
Well, you're frozen right now. So, but anyway, we're going to continue the interview. You're going to come back. So tell me, if a young man, there you go.
They're trying to get the link. They went to your page and they can't log on.
They went to
the link that I sent, your link for your Facebook. They're not able to log on. So people are texting me.
Tell them to go to YouTube then. I don't know.
1 second, because people are texting me back and forth. 1 second.
Well, anyway, while you're doing, I want to ask you a question. For any young man or female that desires to be a publicist, what is some advice that you can give them?
That is a fantastic question. So first things first, okay? You have to work in a newsroom. You have to either work as a producer, work as a journalist, work as a writer. You need to know how the media thinks in order for you to sell, right, your clients to the media. My experience as a writer with the Washington Afro was invaluable, and I wouldn't trade it in for the world. Without that experience, I wouldn't be successful as a publicist. So first things first, you have to either be a producer in a newsroom, TV station, be a writer for a newspaper. Once you're able to do that, once you're able to understand how the media thinks, making that transition from being a journalist to being a writer is seamless.
So I asked you that question, but I jumped ahead of myself because I want to know, like, what is the role of a publicist?
Sure. Okay. Gotcha. Okay, cool. So people hire me to get them, they hire me for a variety of reasons, right? So they hire me, one, to get their platforms, whether it be themselves, whether it be their businesses, media exposure. Okay. They hire me to get them press, media coverage for their events or their businesses. They also hire me to put plans together that's going to provide maximum exposure for their platform. So I also put together comprehensive media plans. I don't just get people interviews. I compose comprehensive plans for them to follow, for them to get the exposure that they desire.
So with that being the case, give me some of your give me some of your most memorable clients. like the ones that just stick out in your head.
Sure. So I work with Sasha Bruce Youth Work. I created their social media campaign encouraging teens from 14 to 24 to get tested for HIV for the first time. It was called #NeverTooEarly. And ironically, Tony Rez, who was a on-air personality at WPGC 95.5 FM in DC, he hosted the launch for that event, and he passed away recently. So that, primarily for that reason, that's a very memorable campaign for me. But that campaign was everywhere: World Star Hip Hop, all the local stations, newspaper. It was a blowout. It was a blowout event. Oh, I have so many memorable. Working with Eli, that's been amazing. He has grown to be a very talented musician. Wow, I just have so many clients. Rise Against Cancer, Alicia Arthur, Dawn Hendricks, FM Talent. Her business was valued at $15 million and became a 100% female-owned business. Had the pleasure of working with her, getting her everywhere within the DMV. Gosh, I have so many clients. You know what? I have to pay homage. So my very, 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 very first client, Glenn Jackson, the Golden Scissors Awards. For many of you who know Glenn, Golden Scissors Awards, he was my first client. He taught me a lot of what I know as a publicist. I traveled up and down with him, up and down the East Coast with him, even to the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas. And so, yeah, working with him for years, that was memorable as well. So I've just had the pleasure of working with a lot of awesome people. I can't even, there's just so many, there's too many to rattle off the top of my head. But I've worked with quite a number of awesome people.
See, you beat me to the punch, because I was going to ask you, how did it feel to you when you booked your first client under the banner of Dynamic Public Relations?
Well, it was Glenn Jackson. And so how I booked Glenn Jackson was Edgar Brookins. He is the manager at the Washington Afro. And I was transitioning from being a reporter to starting my firm. And at the time, Glenn Jackson needed some administrative support. So Mr. Brookins recommended me. And when I met with Glenn, he felt that my skill set would be more appropriate under the umbrella of public relations and media. And so that was the birth of Dynamic Public Relations. And so having him trust me with a brand that at that point was already 15 years old, that was an incredible honor for me. And so, yeah, it was Glenn.
Now, as an entrepreneur,
yes,
Black woman, go-getter, how hard is retention for you?
How hard is retention?
Yeah, like, with me, I value retention. I value customers coming back and using my services, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's hard because, and the marketplace is so saturated with everything. You can, it's so saturated with everything. So that's why I keep muting your mic, because you don't have earphones in. You're going to hear me, and then it's going to come back and you're going to hear me again. So that's why I mute it when I'm talking, because I'm hearing myself. But how do you retain your clients on a consistent basis, like longevity wise?
Well, I mean, a lot of my clients have come back. And how are you? A lot of my clients have come back to me, Dr. Hassan Teta. They've utilized me and they've come back. And so for me, my business really thrives on new clients. Retention is great, don't get me wrong. I have a lot of return clients, but it's a mix of clients that I've retained and new clients that I'm constantly engaging.
and with the new clients, like with me, whenever I get a new client and I'm not a publicist, but any client that I get, I am trying to brand. I'm trying to brand them by making them, or make what I designed for them specific to them, but also specific to me, because can't nobody else do it. You know what I mean? So you don't have a cookie cutter approach to, publishing your clients, do you?
No, because everybody's different. There's no formula for that fits with every client. Everybody's different. I tailor my campaigns to fit each client. So no, there's no cookie cutter way. Now, there are basic principles that I follow, but there's no cookie cutter. Everybody go into this particular niche and I run with it. No, everything is tailored to meet my clients' needs.
Okay. So what do you see dynamic public relations in 10 years?
Oh, that's a great question. Dynamic public relations, and pardon me, I am multitasking because people are trying to watch this and they can't. So I'm trying to get them to watch it. So please pardon me if I'm multitasking. But dynamic public relations, where I see my business, I just see us continuing to do great things. I see us continuing to leave our mark on the market as it relates to providing stellar public relations services.
Okay. Now, do you have a support staff, or do you do a lot of outsourcing?
Here's the thing. I have tried to utilize, and I have in the past, and utilize people to assist me with projects. And for the most part, it's been successful. There have been one or two instances where I had to apologize for the work that they didn't do. And I don't like that. And that's why, for the most part, I am a one-stop shop. I am a sole entity. It is me and only me. But for skills that I don't have, such as graphic design work, I've outsourced it to people, including yourself, and it's been great. But other services that I've outsourced, it was more of a headache than anything else. And so I am very selective as to who I incorporate in my business, so to speak.
Well, I'm sort of the same way, because this is my baby. This is my baby. And I represent it a certain way. So if I am going to entrust you to do anything associated with DC Graphics, it got to be on my level. And my level, it doesn't necessarily have to be the design aspect of it. But Ali, me, my turnaround time is crazy. Like I'm on it. If you give me something, I'm on it. And I want people who I employ to have that same type of tenacity.
Exactly.
But I realize that this is my dream. You know what I mean? It's my dream. It's not their dream. It's a way for them to make money.
Right.
But this is my living. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I'm gonna approach it a little bit more serious than they are.
Exactly.
So it's hard to. I want to get a young black male and a young black female underneath my wing, because I think like now in where I am in my life, like graphic designs is sort of like music. You got to keep your eye or your ear to the street, so to speak, to know what the new trends are, and I'm not out as much, so I tend to have more corporate, streamlined, minimalistic designs now. You know what I mean? And it's hard. So it's hard for me as a graphic designer to find other graphic designers to employ, but I know it has to be hard for you to find other junior publishers to employ as well. So,
well, but the thing is that I'm not looking. I'm really not. Because I've tried to, engage interns, and it's like I don't want to babysit or chase after anybody. If you want this, if you're hungry for this knowledge and this information, then that's great. Other than that, I have no time. I have no tolerance for that. Even personally with people, if you about this grind for real, then rock with me. Other than that, have a nice day. And that's just what it is. Period. I have no tolerance to try and carry anybody who's not hungry for this success, who's not hungry for that recognition, who's not hungry for when people hear the name of your business, it's synonymous with excellence. It's synonymous with professionalism. It's synonymous with results. I don't take people's money and don't yield results. I don't do that. Because for me, my reputation is priceless. The couple $1,000s you're going to pay me, I would have spent that money and that would have been it. And then what? My name is tarnished over nonsense. Never. And that's another piece of advice that I give people, especially publicists. If you know that you cannot help that client, do not take their money, period. Because I'm at a point now in my business, Denorris, where even to have a conversation with me, an in-person meeting is $250 to $300 an hour. And that's not subtracted from my retainer. That's just that's just for me to be in your presence, for me to hear what you want to do.
Yeah, you tried to hit me with that initially. You tried to hit me with that. Yeah, you tried to. Yeah, yes, you did. You tried Yes, you did. A consultation fee. I like consultation fee. Whatever.
Wait. When did I do that? When?
It's at the beginning of our relationship as far as business is concerned.
Denorris, that was for someone who you referred to me.
No. I remember that one as well. No, when we initially talked, because I thought I needed a publicist or whatever, and I had called you up and you was like, well, Denorris, my consultation is $250. I'm like, $250, whatever.
Denorris, I don't remember. No, I don't remember hitting you. No, I don't remember that. Don't do that to me, Denorris.
I mean, you didn't charge me. You didn't charge me. Like we didn't, and you still did what I needed to do. But okay. that was the initial thing. I was like, hold up now, but I don't think it wasn't the money. It wasn't the money that I was like, hold up now, right? I just went in. I just went in with the expectation, like, we've been working together, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing. And I've learned this the hard way. We can kick it. We can do whatever, but business is business, and I have to draw a hard line. I have to draw a hard line because what happens is this: you invest into someone, you invest and not be compensated. And when they've gotten to a place where they're comfortable and don't need you, pardon my language, but they give you their ass to kiss. And then you feel a sense of resentment. It's happened to me. And so even if it's my mother, I'm giving her an invoice. If she's watching, she knows this. Yes, I'm not playing. I'm invoicing my sweet mother.
No, you're not invoicing. Yes, you're not invoicing mom.
I'm invoicing Roslyn Ibama. I'm invoicing her. I love it, but that's she's going to get that invoice. Okay? Because business is business. You're my mother. You're my mother. It's two different things here. Okay? It's two different things.
When you said business is business, it reminded me of the movie New Jack City.
Right. That's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, when Ice-T and Wesley Snipes, they was kicking it and they was about to do a transaction and they went in the garage and Wesley had all the guns and everything. And Ice-T was like, "What's up, man? What's up?" And Wesley looked at him and said, "Friends is friends, but business is business, B."
Business. It's real simple. It's real simple. It ain't personal here. It's not personal. And I've learned to keep from resenting someone, you have to charge them for for your services. You have to, and it has to be very clear cut, start and finish. There are no gray areas here. That's what contracts and proposals are for.
Right.
Okay. Because I mean, I've learned, when you've been in business for 17 years, there's a lot of trial and error. And I've learned you don't give yourself like that to somebody in hopes of when they get to the next level, they're going to take you with them. Because it ain't nothing. Because if there's nothing in writing, all they owe you is a thank you and send you on your way.
Right.
You understand? Well, and I learned that personally, so I will never, ever do that again. Never do it again.
Well, for me, I'm like, I do a lot of, I won't call it pro bono, but like discounts. You know, I do a lot, right? And initially, it was a way to get people to use my services because, right? But then I started realizing why I got into this. I got into graphic design because, you know, there are a lot of dope Black businesses, Black professionals, Black products, a lot of them out here, but they don't understand the importance of marketing and advertising. Like they don't understand it. They don't understand that McDonald's spends over $1 billion a year just to advertise their dollar menu.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right.
You know, so they don't understand that. You can have the best salon in the city, but if it doesn't anybody know, if don't nobody know about it, it don't mean nothing. It doesn't mean not one thing.
That's
so
true.
I was like, we got all these dope businesses, all these dope people, but no one is there to show them the importance of marketing. And that's why I got into it. So now when I do a discount and I see someone that, you know, I gave a discount to, and they may have got somebody else to do another project, I'm not even, I don't feel no kind of way unless it's someone like you. If it's somebody like you and I see something that you're on and you didn't call me to give me the opportunity to try my hand at, I'm calling you. I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling you.
But here's the thing. Sometimes in that case, the client already has a preference for who they want to use. It's not me. It's not, I don't decide that. If they're already using someone, I can't come in and say, okay, I mean, that's who they're comfortable with. So it's like, trust me, it's nothing personal. I stand by your work, D. I stand by your work. So don't ever think it's personal.
No. I never think it's personal.
Okay.
Just like with no. I go to war for you when if someone needs a publicist or any type of thing that I think that you can do, I'm going to war for you. Like I know somebody. You know what I mean? Like I know somebody and I think that this person would be a great fit here. I'm going to war. Like and after I go to war, if I lose, at least I went to war. You know what I mean? So that, you know, and a lot of my clients, like for you go to war for me in the sense that if someone says I need a graphic designer, I don't worry about Allie thinking about nobody else but me. I don't worry about that. Like today we had a conversation and you were like, you had an opportunity for me. And what did I say? Well, you know, Allie, you know, I'm used to doing my own thing, but on the strength of you, I do this.
Thank you.
You know, because we go to war for one another. Okay. So man, Allie, yes. This was great. You know, I was about to actually dive into a serious issue with you, but why
not? So what's holding you? But what's holding you back? Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay, so I remember when we initially met. You told me about a traumatic time in your life.
Okay.
Where, you know, so it's better for you to explain it than me. So
are you referring to when I was assaulted with a baseball bat?
Yes.
Okay. Actually, I I'm not going to say I celebrated, but that incident happened 11 years ago on November 2nd. So my car was stolen in Prince George's County on Pennsylvania Avenue in Upper Marlboro. And I was beaten with a baseball bat. My car was stolen. And I was pretty much left for dead at a gas station at the Exxon there, right? So the person who stole my car also, my cell phone was in the car. And he drove to his fiance's house and told her, oh, snap, he's in trouble. And he used my phone to purchase games on my phone. And so I was rushed to PG Hospital. I was in ICU for a week. I lost so much blood, I had to have a blood transfusion. And was released. He was apprehended. There was a whole standoff at a motel in Waldorf. And he got 35 years to life. And so if it hadn't been for Facebook memories, I don't even remember the day. It just happens to pop up in my memories and I repost it. But in my psyche, I've kind of blocked it out.
Blocked it out?
Yeah, I blocked it out. And then after I had the blood transfusion, a year later, I had to have additional surgery to remove scar tissue from my head. And so it was traumatic to say the least. I think for me, because it didn't affect my face. Like I have a scar. If anybody who knows me, I have a scar here that wasn't there before. That scar was from the incident. But I just tend to forget about it. Initially, when it happened, I remember I had to call Verizon to explain that, these games, somebody else charged them and the person beat me upside the head with a baseball bat. And I had to send pictures in the hospital report to prove that. So having to go through putting my life together after that incident was traumatic. And I remember I went to get my eyebrows done and I still had bandages on my head. So when I laid down for her to do my eyebrows, when I lifted my head, there was blood on the pillow. And I had stitches here. So the lady she just looked at me, she was mortified. And she said, I hope whoever did this to you, I hope they burn in hell. And I didn't say anything. So it was so crazy. Shout out to Montgomery County, right? Because I was living in Mo County at the time in Maryland. And my rent was due. And my sister, and I had been laid off from my job. And I was in no condition to try and find a job with a busted head, right? So my sister said, why don't you go to social services and explain what happened to you? Now, I've never been on any type of help or assistance. At that point, I've never, right? But I was like, okay, why not? So I go and I explain what happened to me and I take off the bandages. Everybody in the whole place was like, oh, you could hear a gasp. I was like, oh my God. Montgomery County paid 2 months of my rent. 2 months of my rent. And I have never gone to ask for any type of help. But when I was in that office and the supervisor saw my head, she couldn't believe that I was still alive.
I remember seeing the pictures. And, it mortified me, just the pictures. Just the pictures. But then I admired you for your resilience, because to come back from something like that and to be the person that you are and continue your business and have your business grow and not let something like that stop you, that's a testament to your willpower, man. And I hope that I didn't open any old wounds by...
No, you didn't. Okay. Because here's the thing. What it's a testament to is if they hadn't, because what happened was he beat me with the baseball bat, he sped off. Someone came into the parking lot. So the attendant in the gas station was too scared to come out and help me. So somebody came into the gas station and saw me there. And they called the ambulance and they got me rushed to the hospital. If someone hadn't, it was all about timing. If someone had come 5 minutes later, I could have died. So it was all, at that moment, it was all about getting to the hospital when I did. And so it was nothing but God, because the doctor said I could have easily, due to the trauma, he busted my head open like a watermelon. It wasn't like one or two. No, he cracked my skull open. Okay. And so for me, it's a testament to God having a plan for me. And so I just keep going. I don't think about it. Now, initially, when it initially happened, I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell a lot of people. You know, my mother, my siblings knew, but a lot of people didn't know. And so I posted those pictures on Facebook about a year later. So everybody was like, "Oh my God, why didn't you tell me? How do you bring that up in a conversation?" Oh, I was beaten with a baseball bat and almost died. Like, I don't know how to incorporate that in a conversation. So
right.
the only way for me to open dialogue up about it was to post the pictures. I got flack from one or two people. Why would you post pictures that are so personal like that? Because it's my testimony. It's my testimony. I'm not looking for sympathy, no. But it's an example of, you don't know, yeah, my face is beat, yeah, my hair done, my makeup on, my nails done, you know what I'm saying? Whatever. But you don't know what's behind all this. You don't know what this is comprised of. You don't know what I've been through. I don't look like what I've been through. Period. That incident is one among many incidences in my life. But I don't allow those things to define me. I don't allow those experiences to take a toll on me. I just keep going. I just keep going. I made a promise to myself that I was never going to look like what I've been through, so that when you hear about it, you don't believe it.
Well, I can tell you. Well, I can tell you. You know, I've seen you. I've watched you, and I've watched you grow, and I've watched you continue to make moves, and it totally amazes me that someone who went through that type of trauma, because a lot of people would have just folded. You know what I mean? They would have just.
But Denorris, me folding in what way? Fold and not continue to grow my business?
Not continue to even, grow your business, so to speak. So.
But Denorris, the thing is that and maybe this is very vain of me. Well, my thing is, thank God he didn't, excuse my language, fuck my face up. At least the face still together. You know what I'm saying? I can put a wig on. I mean, I'm saying, no, that was my rationale. You know what I'm saying? Get the eyebrows done, put the lip gloss on, and I can just keep it moving. And so for me, as long as this was intact, I can deal with everything else. The only visual reminder of the incident is a scar that I have right here. That if you know me before this time, you'll know that, oh yeah, what happened here? Other than that, it's not noticeable. And so for me, mentally, I was able to just continue to move on, continue to thrive. Now, it may be very vain. Now, if my face had been affected, then I probably would mess my mind up. But it wasn't. And so on the surface, I don't look like what I've been through. And what really pissed me off was I showed no emotion during the prosecution of the dude who did this to me until the day he was sentenced. And I'm sitting in the courtroom. He comes out from behind from the holding area. So his wife, he comes out, she's blowing him kisses. And here's the thing, she had a restraining order against him when he assaulted me. He assaulted me because he saw me and I reminded him of her. He had previously knocked her out cold, broad daylight in a park. She put a restraining order out on him. He went to live with somebody, was walking around Pennsylvania Avenue, just going crazy over his situation, saw me and took it out on me. Okay? So we're in court. She's blowing him kisses. And I'm just looking at this whole situation. So when I was asked to speak, I went off in court. I took my wig off. I said, do you see what this motherfucker did to me? He should have did that shit to your dumb ass because clearly you have no sense. The whole courtroom was like, whoa. And that was the first time that I had expressed any emotion towards anything. The bailiffs, the judge, the prosecutor, state's attorney, everybody let me speak because I couldn't believe that you see what he did to me. I turned my head to the court. I said, see what he did to me. And you here blowing kisses at this dude, putting money on his books, encouraging the behavior. You deserve this ass whooping, not me. She didn't know what to say. So when he was sentenced, and I walked out of the courtroom, and I went by myself, by the way. I didn't want my brother, sister, nobody was there. It was something that I thought I had to handle myself. So I was in the courtroom in Upper Marlboro on Main Street. And I left the courtroom, and her cousin said to me, she said, everything you said was right. What he did to you was meant for my cousin, who was his fiance. And she apologized to me. She asked me for a hug. And I said, ma'am, no offense, but this ain't the Black family reunion. No, I'm not giving you a damn hug. No. And I left. And I left the courtroom.
And well, that's a powerful testimony. You need to write a book.
See, here's the thing. And people have told me that several times. I'm not ready to see my life in black and white yet. I'm not ready for that because if I write the book, I've got to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
Okay.
And it's going to affect people. And so I can't edit. I can't leave certain things out. I have to say it the way it happened, and that's what it is.
Okay.
And so I don't know when that's going to be.
Okay, well, whenever it is, make sure you let me get a copy, autographed copy of
that.
Of
course.
You know, but I got to ask you a question. We've been talking, and yes. I know for the people who don't know you, they are very, very, very interested in your last name because you are not. You know, they saying she ain't just black. She ain't just black. Like, what else is she with a last name like that? So tell us about your ethnic background. Like, what are you?
Okay, so Allie is not my real name. It's a professional alias that I use. My real name is Alafika. So my real name is Alafika Opio. And so Alafika, wealth in my life will never end. Whatever falls within the spectrum of wealth will be in abundance, whether it be spiritual, financial, psychological, whatever falls within the spectrum of wealth will be in abundance. Opio literally means big friend. Big as in the friend of royalty, of royals. And so that's what my name means. So I am Nigerian, 100% Nigerian. I actually went to high school in Nigeria. I lived there for 5 years. And I came back to go to Howard.
So
but I was born and raised in New York, upstate New York.
So you're Nigerian. Are you one of those people that be sending me the emails that, you know,
No.
my family is rich and I need a bank account to just
No, let me tell you something. Those people who are sending you those emails, here's the thing. Nigeria is a third world country. I'm very proud of where I'm from, but it's hard. And people are just trying to survive. And so those young boys who are sending you those emails, they're called Yahoo boys, right? And their focus is internet scamming people. So they'll send out these mass emails and some fool, one fool or two will latch on to it, and they'll send them a couple of dollars, and that's their hustle. Am I condoning it? No, but Nigeria is rough, and until things change, people are going to continue to get those emails because folks are trying to put food on the table.
Hey, Ali, I'm not even mad at him because, you know, I'm really not. I'm not. I mean, because like I know for a fact that Nigerians are top 5 of the smartest Africans on the continent. Per capita. I know that. Like, I know they are highly intelligent. They got to be highly intelligent to design the schemes that they design. Like, this is not, no, honestly, when you really think about it, this is not something that someone says, you know, just haphazardly. They have worked this thing out to a science. It's a science for them. And I actually saw a movie about the Yahoo Boys. I saw a movie.
You already know
Yeah.
But Denorris, here's what I find interesting, right? Okay, so I'll tell people I'm Nigerian, and they'll be like, "What you mean you're Nigerian?" I say, "Yeah, I'm Nigerian." They said, "Both your parents?" I'm like, "Yeah." Well, you don't look Nigerian. Well, how in the hell do we look? First of all, we come in all different shapes, sizes, and flavors. Okay, so the fact that I don't look Nigerian, I don't know, that's ridiculous, right? And then when I'm with Nigerians, they think I'm Black American, right? And perfect example of this, I was at a CVS in Beltsville, Maryland. I'll never forget this. Maybe like over 5 years ago. And I'm online. So this lady walks up and she cuts the whole line, right? And I'm just like, wait a minute, hold on. I've been on this line for at least a good 15 minutes. This chick gonna come up and just cut the whole damn line. So I said, "Ma'am, excuse me. You see all of us on this line." And I told the cashier, I said, "Don't serve her. If you serve her, it's gonna be a whole riot. Follow the line," right? So the lady looks at me. So she speaks in Pidgin English, which is the language, the language in Nigeria is Pidgin English. It's derivative from the English language. It's broken English, right? So she speaks Pidgin English to her husband. And she basically says, "Oh, look at this Black American. She ain't shit," right? So I responded in Pidgin English.
Okay, say it back. Say what you said in Pidgin English right now. No. Say what you said. Say what you said in Pidgin. Like, I want to hear that. Like, say what you said in Pidgin English. Like, I want to hear that. Like, and I know everybody else want to hear that. So say it in Pidgin English what you said.
Okay, she said, "Look at this akata." Akata basically means nigga. That's what it means, right?
Okay.
So she was like, look at this akata. So my response was, "Anobi akata na najagel abi." So she was like, oh, her eyes just lit up. Her husband started to beg me because he knew that I was Nigerian. He was like, "I beg, my wife, I said, "No, your wife is fucking crazy." You understand me? So we were just going back and forth. And my point of the story is she thought that I was American. And so that's why she felt it was okay for her to do what she did. It was, her behavior was completely inappropriate, and she was shocked that I was Nigerian.
Well, as a Black American, we've often heard that Africans don't like us. I don't believe that because I have a lot of African friends, but we've often heard that, and it's a shame because, like, when people, first of all, being Black, like, Black is universal, right? So you could be a Black Hispanic, you could be a Brazilian, you could be a Black anything. Like, you can't look at someone's skin color and try to define who they are or what they are. And when you do that, you generally you make a mistake. So I try not to do that. But Ali,
Yes.
Been a very, very, very enjoyable interview. I think like on a personal level, this is probably the longest we've been knowing each other for a good 10, 12 years. This is
That's true.
probably our longest conversation.
Yeah, I mean, it's all good. I mean, I enjoy talking to you, and I thank you for, for having me. My life has been very eventful, but I've been very blessed. And again, I attribute that to God. I mean, this isn't luck. The fact that I'm here in the capacity that I'm here in, and I've weathered the storms that I've weathered, I can't take credit for that. I can't, it's not luck, it's God. And so it's
Okay.
God's plan for me. Now, do I go to church every Sunday? Do I read the Bible every day? I don't, but I do believe there is a God who has kept me to this point. And so,
As my mother would say, amen. My mother
amen.
say amen. My mother, Diane Wilson. That's another shout out, Mama. So
I see she's commenting. She's watching. Hi, Miss
yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah, she'll say amen, because she has a powerful testimony. She will be interviewed by her son sooner or later,
I can't wait.
But Ali, once again, this has been an enjoyable interview. I mean, I always like talking to you, and hopefully the people in my timeline to get to see how dope you are. So if anyone would need a publicist, how do they get in contact with you?
Sure, you can reach me at Alee, ALEE, at dynamicpublicrelations.net. You can also find me on Facebook, Alee, ALEE. Last name is OPUIYO. Or you can call me or shoot me a text. And I've had clients who called me at 10, 11 o'clock at night interested in my services. I answer the phone and they retain me. So I do answer, I do respond. My number is 240-393-3100. And that's for professional reasons only, not because you're trying to get with me. I'm not interested. Thank you very much. Okay.
You just messed up. Yes, you did. You're gonna be getting.
I'm about that business. Okay.
You are.
Don't get me on a late night talking about you saw me on the video with Denorris Wilson. I looked kind of good. Lips was kind of popping. What's going on? Because I'm not going to answer you.
You just messed up.
Okay?
You just messed up.
I got to let people know what's going on, see?
Okay. Okay.
It ain't going down. Okay. Sure. But
well,
purposes only.
Well, I'm glad I got the link to the bat number, so I'm good. But look, next week I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna say how many calls you get, Ali. I'm telling you.
It won't even take till next week. Tomorrow, I'm gonna be like, yo, D, it was crazy.
Right.
Phone was blowing up.
So before we go, I recently started this thing. So I have two questions. I have two questions to ask you.
Okay.
And it's sort of strange asking you this by you being Nigerian, but I'm still gonna ask it.
Okay.
Okay. What are you doing? The first question is, what are you doing to push the culture forward?
What am I doing to push the culture forward? I am keeping the culture in perspective as it relates to what's beneficial to us as a people. Not only us here not only Blacks in America, but Blacks beyond. So I'm keeping things in perspective, and that's all we can do. And in keeping things in perspective, being conscious of the fact that everything that we do is going to affect us down the line. So we have to make the proper decisions. So that's what I'm doing.
Great. So another thing I want to ask you, this is the second part.
Sure.
I need for you to name me 3 famous Black people, but they can't be entertainers or athletes or movie stars. And when I say Black people, Black Americans, because we don't know about the famous Nigerians.
Okay. So they can't be entertainers. They can't be politicians.
Or athletes. It depends on what they did. Like if you consider them famous, a famous politician, then okay. But it's this is your list. Who do you consider famous who is not an athlete or
Okay.
entertainer?
Okay. Well, okay. So I'm going to name 3 folks that are close to me. Okay. My mother, Rosalind Ibama Opio. She's famous because she's a star in my eyes, and
Okay.
she has held me down from birth. So, mommy, I love you. You're famous to me. I want to name my sister, Ibana Opio, because she's famous to her daughter. She's a phenomenal mother. Everything she does, she's fantastic. And I'm going to name my brother, Kalada Opio, because he is famous in his field, in his industry, in IT and coding. And those are 3 people who I consider to be famous and who I look up to.
Okay.
My family.
Well, that's it. That's all that matters. Thank you, Allie, for joining me. I will be calling you back here shortly for another interview after this COVID thing is over with and we are up and running at 100%. I appreciate you, Allie. I appreciate you immensely. So
thank you so much. And I had a wonderful time. I just want to say hi to everybody and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.
Okay. Thank you, Allie. And remember, I told you stick around. So I'm going to end the broadcast and I'm going to come back and talk to you. But thank you again, Allie. Everybody, Allie Opio. All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
So that was my friend Allie. I've been knowing her for a while, at least anywhere between 10 to 12 years. Good individual, good person. As you can see, she's a very lively, energetic soul. And I appreciate her immensely. So you have watched another episode of the BRI, the Black Research Institute, where we're here and we're committed to solving the problems. I hope that you enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed this interview with Miss Allie. If anyone need any public relations services, you know, she left you her contact. If you need her contact again, because I'm not well versed in how to put contacts on the screen yet. Just replay this video on my YouTube channel or go to my Facebook videos after this is over with and you can get her contact. With that being said, I'm going to end this broadcast and tell everyone that I love you and stay blessed. And remember, in order for you to receive a blessing, you must first be a blessing. All right. Take care, everybody. Good night.